I'm Jen King. I'm from Penn Foundation, which is a behavioral health care organization in Upper Bucks County. So we provide mental health, drug and alcohol, and early intervention type treatments. So I'm not the William Penn Foundation. I apologize for that if anyone had that misconception. But one of the things Kathy alluded to, the Bucks County Fundraiser Network, and several years ago in my work, when you're a small shop, a shop of one, and a big organization, we're program focused, but I'm it for fundraising. So being part of the Bucks County Fundraiser Network, it's a wonderful informal collaborative that's about 4 years old, and a loose group of fundraisers, but that community is so valuable to me as a single person in my field, in my organization. And we regularly meet, and we have a very democratic with a little d agenda. Joe Kuzo, who's here today, kind of facilitates it for us, and he checks in with us. What do we want to talk about? What's up? And so last summer we sat together, and several of us had that experience that Kathy referenced. Yeah, Giving Tuesday. I saw all that. Anybody doing anything? And last summer we realized, it feels late, but it's not late. What could we do? And right away from that collaborative feeling came the idea that maybe we work together and do something as a kind of a community message. And the idea actually to reach out to both IQ Connections and to the Bucks County Herald came from that same discussion. So Kathy and Joe pulled together a meeting a little bit later, and we were very excited to have this kind of structured guidance to incorporate Giving Tuesday for all of our organizations, but wanted to make it available to anyone. So it eventually grew. Our steering committee for Giving Tuesday was about 5 individuals, maybe 6 or 7 by the end, but we included 83 nonprofits to the end. So it really grew from this little core nucleus to a good outreach. So as I said, we reached out to IQ Connections and to the Bucks County Herald right away. And in that first meeting, we had commitments from both of them. And the commitment from IQ Connection was to help host a website. And the commitment from the Bucks County Herald was to provide a series of articles and help us generate media interest. So that, as we turned to for me, as I turned to my boss and said, okay, I'm going to work on this project, I'm helping other nonprofits raise money. But it was that promise that we had this media attention and we had this opportunity that made it easy for him to say, yes, absolutely, it sounds like a great project. So what you see here is if I do say so myself, the beautiful website that IQ Connections helps us to develop, and I'll go out to the web and show you. So we sat down with their design team later that summer. 3 of us went down and we learned a lot about how they help organizations build their websites. They have beautiful websites, and we didn't envision this yet, but they did. So we sat together and they, kind of learned what we were thinking of, and what's it going to be? It's going to be a place where we're collecting lots of giving pages, but we didn't really know. But their graphic designers really put together something that's beautiful. So it's interactive, and these will take you all through the website, these little links. But over here then is a scrolling list of all the nonprofits that participated, and then these are links to their giving pages. So in this one spot, you could really say, where in Bucks County do I care about giving? What organizations do I want to support? And you can get to them right from here. So it was a pretty fabulous way to highlight the project. It created some excitement for us. It created some structure. As Kathy referenced, in Bucks County, some people really weren't yet up to capacity with online giving. And some of them, maybe they needed that little push to say to their boards or to say to their leadership, this is something we absolutely have to be doing. We've been waffling, we've been thinking about it, we have to do it. And we actually made that one of the very few commitments we required of nonprofits to participate. So we have the steering committee who built the project, but we wanted it to be really open to any nonprofit serving in Bucks County or headquartered in Bucks County. So even that was really open. If they had a service area in Bucks County, the real requirements we made, they had to have an online giving capacity, and they had to be in Bucks County or serving in Bucks County. And we did ask for a commitment to measure and to report. We knew from early on that, you know, we wanted to be able to measure the impact of this project. So we asked, and our outreach to nonprofits was pretty informal. The Herald obviously started with some media information. We shared with networking, so the steering committee then shared with that whole collaborative list, which is it's pretty extensive. You know, we have about 30 people that participate in different meetings, but the list has grown over the years, and so that, and then it was word of mouth. So as people started to learn about it, we might have forwarded links to our friends, our other colleagues, but it really was open. If you met those requirements, we were going to include you, as long as you got those, the kind of deliverables you had to do to participate. You had to have a giving page link that was live and working. You had to be able to send us a short description that you've written up, and you had to send us your logo. So then IQ Connections had set it up so that we then could kind of take that input, review it just real quick, make sure the logo made sense, and made sure the giving page was live and real, and then they taught us how to populate the website. So these documents here, as we got input from the different nonprofits, we could add that. So it changed every couple days as we spent some time inputting the nonprofits. It wasn't hard. It was really actually much more easy than I anticipated when I sat in their training and thought, oh, what have I said yes to? And we had the deadline probably, I forget exactly when it was, but enough before that we could say, okay, it's all done, it's ready to go, and the site's ready to go for Giving Tuesday. It took a little bit of a time commitment on those of us that were doing that part of it, that was our commitment, but we had a team of 3, and it worked out nicely. I know one of the 3, her special event was at the very beginning of this work, and so she really said, oh, I haven't done anything, I'm so sorry. And then my special event was midway through. And then at that point I said, I haven't done anything. And so by the end it really balanced, and all 3 of us felt like, oh, that was fine. That was totally a manageable amount of work and time-wise. So as I said, it's not, and you can do it at home, you can do it at 10 o'clock at night. It was all web-based. The different aspects of the website included information about our steering committee, information about, and they also submitted everything online on that web page. So their traffic went to the website, and they went there to show us all that we needed to do. And the other thing that grew out of the collaborative is that people took different aspects of the project and worked together. So one of the things that came up midway through the Giving Tuesday season, I guess, was the United Way of Bucks County, who they took the idea and really did some fun promotional aspects with their CEO. In the last, I don't know if anyone was in Gloria's major giving presentation last, but she talked about Boston College did a fundraising campaign where if the students raised $100,000, the favorite loved dean was going to jump in the Charles River, and she used that as a good example of how, you know, if it's the right person with the right excitement, that can be really fun. So what Jamie at the United Way of Bucks County did was he did a Twitter challenge all day long. So on Giving Tuesday, if you gave to the United Way, they would send you a link to his series of Twitter challenges. And so you would only get it if you gave, and it was, you'd get an online video, you get an online link to see the video of Jamie doing things like eating cinnamon and hopping like a bunny through an obstacle course. Really ridiculous, silly things, but it got a lot of media attention. Some of the our local ABC and other media outlet news reporters covered it for it, and they were tweeting back and forth about it. He got a lot of mileage out of it, but so they had a plan for what they were going to do on Giving Tuesday, and then they also reached out to all of us and said, hey, I jumped ahead, sorry. They said, hey, you know what, if you guys want, send us video clips, and they went and made for everyone this video that we were able to share. So all the nonprofits put these little parts together, and we all had, the only form was that one page was going to be the same for all of us. And then we were all able to share it through our networks. And that was really fun. And the other piece that for me, I know I found that was a kind of an unexpected aha was, and it should have been expected, but it was unexpected, how excited my board was when in that week before Giving Tuesday, they were hearing about Giving Tuesday on Today Show, NBC News, the Good Night, the end of the day newscast, and I had already reported what we were doing and what Bucks County was doing. So they really felt like, oh wait, I get that. I know what you're talking about. So that was exciting to be able to be part of that national discussion. Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about what your rationale and how you came to say yes?
Sure. The yes part was the easiest. I have a background. In fact, my first job out of college was with the Epilepsy Foundation of America, and that was in Washington. And most recently, I worked right at 40th and Market for the Partnership Community Development Corporation. I was the director of housing. So I have a strong background in the nonprofit world. I'm also serving on many boards in the Bucks County area. So did my parents, who own the business. So when we were approached, it was a good fit for us because there are many nonprofits that operate in Bucks County. It made a lot of sense, and I think where it made the most sense for the group, Giving Tuesday Bucks, was that this has been it's an online endeavor, but there's a demographic out there that doesn't really subscribe to Twitter. And what makes sense, there's a lot of money out there that people that don't subscribe to Twitter. So we have a demographic it's broad. We have a readership of over 100,000 people. But the key thing is that a lot of our readership have high incomes. And so when we're able to promote it in the paper, and we did a series of articles, including a front page article, and named all of the participating nonprofits in a box on the front page. I think it gave you a lot of attention, and we got some feedback in the paper, and it's probably a good strategy to include that or incorporate that as part of anybody's plan when they want to promote a program like this.
Well, I know how much you have our thanks. It was wonderful. So we had that commitment going in, but then we were also able to have success. We had the Courier Times Intelligencer is our regional paper as well, our daily. And they came and interviewed, they did a video interview, and then also covered it in the paper. Jenny was part, and actually, Eileen, Jamie's there. We're part of the Google Hangout. You can see that clip up in the top. So the 92nd Street Y hosted a Google Hangout early on to promote it. Beth Canner, many of you may know her. She's a thought leader in fundraising, and she highlighted our Bucks County project on her blog. The UN recap of the 10 best Giving Tuesday moments included a reference to ours, and the one that kind of just made us all like a little bit like, are you serious? Is that real? Was one day we were featured in the White House blog post about Giving Tuesday, and I think they named 4 or 5 projects specifically. Jamie was mentioned, GiveCorps, Balmore Gives More. So we were really excited. That was very fun. Several of our committee members were able to write patch articles for local online news features. And there's several radio shows that were able to feature it. We have some really wonderful local radio stations that on the AM channel that are very good to the nonprofits. And so they had that. And TV, but I'm forgetting our TV. What was our TV?
Comcast Newsmakers.
Oh, Comcast Newsmakers. Thank you, Jenny. Jenny was on the Comcast Newsmakers show. So I was like, wait, what was my TV reference? So we had 83 participated. I referenced the deadlines and the guidelines, so that I already described. People Power, it really was a very collaborative effort. And we worked together in meetings maybe 2 or 3 times, and the rest was virtual. So if you were working on this part of it, this aspect of it, it took the time online, but it did not impact any of our own responsibilities. 52 of the 83 who promised us they would report results did report results, so all things considered, that's pretty good. We raised over $38,000 through the more than 360 gifts. I told you about the Twitter challenges. We reached over 100,000 individuals with email blasts, had good success on social media. There's my kids doing their own selfie, one of the 7,000 we gave to our church giving tree, but did it on that day so that we could talk about it. And we had over 3,100 unique visitors to the website.